Welcome everyone to my Cozy Kingdom tutorial. A lot of folks have asked me for a more in-depth tutorial for Overthrown, as well as just a couple of tips and tricks. So today we're going to be going over all the basics for getting you started. Since this is an early access, this tutorial is currently applicable to the latest content update, which would be part 1 of the nature update. But if you are watching this far into the future because you are a time traveler, you might see a replacement video linked in the description with a more up-to-date tutorial. But if there's anything else you'd like to know, let me know in the comments down below and we'll get them answered in the next tutorial video. Or feel free to give me a shout either on our community Discord or the Reddit page, which have links over in the description. But as always, let's do a hop, skip, and a jump right on into things. First, let's go over menus. When you first start the game, you'll be met with your first objective prompt that is here to help guide you getting your kingdom up and running, with the first being to pick up your crown. Before that, you'll only have 2 menus available in the bottom left of the screen, the map being the first, which you can open by pressing M. Here you can take a gander at the world around you, as well as click on available resources to see their groupings. There are also zones spread about that you can click on to show you how many local resources each zone has in total in the right-hand corner. With your scroll wheel, you can also zoom in and out and take a closer look at what's around you in real time. The next menu is your equipment wheel, which you can toggle by pressing tab. In here, you'll find all your current equipment as well as descriptions for the types of damages that they inflict. This can also be toggled on your keyboard by pressing the number keys. Completing the current objective, which is to pick up your crown, will complete the objective and begin a brand new one, but it will also bring up the remaining menus. You'll find the build menu both with a prompt next to the character and in the bottom left hand of the corner. By pressing Q, you will open up the build menu and be able to click through all available buildings. Next, we have the resources menu, which you can open by pressing G. This shows you all the available resources you currently have in Universal Storage. You can also get a quick glimpse at this by pressing T to bring up all your resources on the right-hand side. H is the next menu, showing you all your population. Currently we have none, so here's what it looks like with a bunch. Here we have a list of all of our citizens and a list of job types, as well as how many are unemployed. You'll have a counter for citizens spawning, and you can change how many you want to limit with a slider or just by checking off this little box. The housing section will show you what structures you have as well as their current capacity. In the citizens section, you can see each of your citizens, their needs, and any effects. Clicking the icon to the left of their name will bring them up on the map to show you what they're doing in real time. We'll go more in depth into managing citizens in another video just a little bit later on. Back to the citizen menu, you'll find a tab for creatures to show you how many creatures you have, as well as a tab for needs to show you how many resources are being consumed by your citizens. Again, we'll go into this in another citizen management video later on. J will bring up the research menu, where you can spend resources to unlock different parts of the research tree in order to continue to build up your kingdom. Each tab will give you an overview of what buildings or equipment it unlocks. K is our last menu, the character screen, where you can move around your equipment shortcuts as well as change Runa's outfit colors. Unpopular opinion, but my favorite is Sun, so we'll be doing the rest of this video in my favorite outfit color. Let's move on to buildings. Placing buildings is pretty easy and can be done with a simple left click. You can also destroy it at any time with the middle mouse button. Buildings can be rotated by pressing R or mirrored by pressing V. You can also open your map by pressing M and pressing Q to open the build menu in order to build from a top-down view. Gives you just a little bit more freedom. Relocating is also pretty easy. Just pick up a building by pressing F and open grid mode, which is the Q button, and you can place it back down anytime you want. Speaking of lifting stuff up, here is a fun tip for getting a lot of wood early on. Not only can you lift up trees and go and toss them at the sawmill, but some buildings can also absorb resources when you pick them up and boop them into things. Because fun. Let's go over work radius. Buildings that employ a citizen who gathers resources has a specific radius where the citizen will work. You can find this by pressing M to enter your map and clicking on the building. Spreading out these buildings can be useful so your citizens are able to gather a variety of items by harvesting from different areas. Now for movement and equipment. All weapons have basic attacks, which can be done with a simple left click. You can also sprint to dash by pressing Control. Weapons will also have special attacks that happen when you are currently sprinting. If you hold Shift, you'll be able to perform a special crown charge move such as Pegasus Run. Holding right click can also allow you to drift in different directions. If done in water without smacking into things, you will do a tornado swim that can transition into a dolphin leap with a very graceful little landing roll back into a Pegasus Run. Jumping is pretty easy and done by pressing the spacebar. If you hold the spacebar, you'll go just a little bit higher, but if you hold the Shift button, you'll do a special crown charge jump. Jumping into corners can allow you to wall jump up cliffs as well. If you want to do a slide jump, just hold the spacebar while Pegasus running. As you start to get used to the movement, you can begin combining dash attacks, uppercuts, and jumps in order to quickly sprint your way across the map or up large cliffs. Pegasus running into enemies, which is super fun, can also slam them pretty far away from you. If you'd like to stun them, just jump, hold Shift, and left click in order to do a ground pound. Knocked down enemies can be lifted up and you can run far away with them, leaving them for someone else to deal with if you want. Good job, Tusky. Moving on to equipment, different equipment can be unlocked over time, such as the seed bag in farming. You'll find the shovel in mining, the great sword over in butchering. The shield can be found in the metalworking category, and then the great hammer is found in fortifications, with lastly the lantern in incendiaries. In the character tab, you can switch your offhand between the shield and the lantern. In order to equip them, all you'll have to do is press X. Our trusty shield can only be equipped while holding the short sword, and to use the shield, you just hold the right click button. The shield is super useful for interrupting enemy attacks such as Tusker charges, and it can even stop bullets from knocking you down. The next weapon on our list is the Great Sword, which has a very heavy, powerful swing that deals cutting damage. However, it can also be used as a spin to win weapon. If you hold still, then hold Shift and left click, you can now spin to win. If you continue this combo and hold down the spacebar, you will also fly like a Beyblade, which is one of my favorite little things. The Great Sword also has a powerful arc attack that can be done by holding Shift to Pegasus Run and then releasing an energy beam by pressing the left click button to attack. Next is the Great Hammer. It is a very slow but very powerful new weapon. It can be used to stun larger mutant baddies as well as knock them down to the ground. If you hold Shift and then click the left mouse button, you will also do a spinny attack that knocks back enemies. Power throwing can also be used to knock down baddies. If you lift up any item and then hold Shift and hold the left mouse button to aim, you'll be able to do a power throw that sends outlaws flying. Swapping to our Royal Lantern now, who is powered by a fire elemental named Igni, you can set everything on fire. If you press C, you can crouch and sneak your way over to outlaws. Holding the right mouse button will activate Igni's fiery passion for arson, and left clicking to attack anything will set it on fire. And don't forget, fire also spreads. Enough crime for now, let's get into some cozy farming. In order to place farm crops, you can hold the left mouse button to cover large areas at once, or press M to enter map mode to do big areas from a top-down view. The left mouse button can sow one tile at a time when you equip your seed bag, and the right mouse button will sow larger areas. You can also jump while sowing in order to have a much wider spread of seeds. Each tile also requires fertilizer in order to sow. Our last tool is the shovel tool. Going up to a cliff face and holding the left click button will allow you to flatten as you move alongside it, gaining ore into your universal storage as you go. Now, if you stand on the edge and right click, you'll also fill the tile to the height that you're standing on at the cost of ore. Now, if you jump and press the left mouse button, you can also dig down by one tile. To do the exact opposite, all you have to do is jump and click the right mouse button in order to dig upwards. That's about it for the tutorial basics. I just want to do a very quick shout out to our composer Johannes Johansson, as all the music featured in this tutorial are tracks from our game itself. I hope you folks have found this a little bit helpful in the meantime while we keep working on an in-game tutorial. I'll see folks next time for an in-depth video on citizen management, and thank you so much for playing, as well as all the constant feedback on our really silly little city builder. Thank you so much for playing, everyone. Have a great day.